Today, we're going to be slinging sports like Brett Favre on Vicodin, folks. Today's topics will include the 5x5 NCAA recruiting rules and changes. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's get into a little fair or foul segment and have some fun at the NFL's expense. Let's talk about some NFL news, notes, starters, name some injuries, starters named, injuries, fantasy football talk. Has the WNBA banned freedom? ? The PR saga continues. Dun, 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 dun. Major League Baseball standings, World Series odds, and of course, what chaps our ass on this segment. And we'll give shout outs, and we got a few good shout outs to give out today.
Yeah! Let's go! Yeah, we fired up, got something to say. No filters here, we don't play it safe. Hot takes fly, better brace for the blast. Welcome to that chapter. Let's go!
Welcome to the Chapped Ass Podcast, a face for radio, coming at you at 5 foot 10 inches above sea level, folks, in the stock, Woodstock, Georgia. I'm flying solo today, just like Han Solo this week. My co-pilot Chewbacca is on medical leave after a full body wax went sideways. Just kidding, folks. We expect Coach to be back next week as we get the band back together. We're expecting to be racing 2 wide next week with Coach Grainer back in the studio, doing it like we like to do it here on the Chapped Ass Podcast, a face for radio. If it's sports and if it's humor, it's the Chapped Ass Podcast. But before we get started, I just want to get just a quick sentimental moment, a quick sentimental segment, if you will. We missed a show last week. I had gone down to the NFL draft for my fantasy stuff down in Alabama. And while I was down there, I had a relative pass away. My Uncle Doc passed away way too soon. And I just want to say, rest in peace, Uncle Doc. But I'd also like to say, while we are being sentimental, that, family matters, love matters, spread it. You can never hug and kiss and tell someone you love them too much. Make sure you tell somebody you love them today. Bury an old hatchet and make everything good here today. Let's go and spread love all around. Tell somebody how you feel. Tell somebody what they need to hear. And let's get back into the regular world again where love matters. And let's have some fun today as well as we keep moving. I know I'm getting more sentimental by the day, so just bear with me. But, as we took that break, we missed out on some stuff. We missed out on some shows. So we need to get those followers and subscribers back in the fray. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get some call to action. Let's get some subscribers. Go ahead and like us. You see those buttons. You see those buttons. You see those buttons. Like us on YouTube. Like us on Spotify. Give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. It's free. The subscribe button is our money driver to keep doing the show. So please go ahead and subscribe, like us, and leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget, we do have a fantasy football draft coming up for our Listeners League, which I'll talk about later on the show. But we'll be posting that up on Facebook as well and Instagram. So we're going to need some email addresses. But again, like us. Smash the subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, be kind on your comments. And if you can't be kind, be honest, at least, I guess, and let us know why we truly have a face for radio. But we do appreciate you listening and tuning in as always. We're trying to get those subscribers up to 300 where we can get to that Hall of Fame number for the subscribers. So let's go 300. Let's go. We've gone up about 20 or 30 recently. But if you want to subscribe and follow us, we appreciate the follows on the socials. But again, subscribing is the most important. But if you get a chance, please follow us at Chapped A Podcast, CHAPPED, the letter A, podcast. Or you can follow us on our website at chappodcastcentral.com. Like us, smash that subscribe button on YouTube and Spotify, and leave us a comment. So, as I talk way too fast like I always do when I'm by myself, let's get into the first item up for bid today, the 5x5 rule. The 5x5 rule is the new NCAA recruiting changes they've made. And as you can see here, the changes are you basically have 5 years in college. You have 5 years from the date you graduate or your 19th birthday, whichever is first. You have 5 years from that date to graduate college. 5 years to graduate college, 5 years to play sports. So what has that done to the recruiting world? Well, I have a 27. I coach softball. I have 27s on my team. It makes it very difficult to get those kids processed. As you noticed, I was spoken with a grandmother last night. A lot of these schools are decommitting kids. In other words, they offered those kids. They committed to those kids. Those kids committed to them. And then come to find out the kids have now been decommitted by the university. So now they have to go find other options, other avenues for places to go play. And so that just gunks up the engine and continues to trickle down to the to the lower levels. So D1 adopted it. Now D2 has adopted it. The same exact rules, the 5x5 as we just spoke about. They're adopting it. So now we hope for uniformity that D3 and NAIA move to that same path. However, the only thing that's good would be the uniformity, because it really gunks up the engine. And so I've been talking about this all week. And what I would like to do is sort of give you an example of what I mean about how this gunks up the engine. So let's go with a hypothetical. Let's say I'm a college softball coach for 7 years. Okay. So for the last 4 years, I've had the same class, so to speak. All right. So now those kids under this new 5x5 rule can go from 4 years to 5 years. So I've got a kid that's played for me since they were 17 years old, 18 years old, getting out of high school. So now they played for me for that many years. They go to that 5th year. So what ends up happening is I have an option. I can take a player that's been with me for 4 straight years, been on time, no problems, doesn't cause issues, not even a starter, just a middle infielder utility backup, can play 2 or 3 positions, good grades, brings up my program's GPA, the little things like that. They do all those things. They're on time. They know me. I know them. They know what we expect, and vice versa. And they have a grown man or a grown woman's body. Obviously, softball, a grown woman's body, right? So they're more mature mentally. They're more mature physically. They're stronger, probably faster, maybe not faster, but at least as fast. And so now I have the option as a coach. I can keep that kid. I can keep that kid that's been with me for the last 4 years, no problems, helps my program tremendously in all facets, plays multiple positions, or I can take a chance on a 17-year-old kid that I've seen on film, that they've shared with me, their highlights. I haven't seen their lowlights in most cases, maybe seen them play once, maybe twice. They have met me twice. They met me at a field once. They met me on signing day, coming to meet me again or coming to tour the program. So 2 or 3 times we've interacted, plus video. That's all I've got on a 17-year-old kid. I have no idea what the true character is going to be until they're in that program and I can see them walk the walk and talk the talk. So it just gunks up the engine. As a coach, I want the 23-year-old. As a coach, I do not want that 17-year-old right there in that program. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So we're dealing with that right now, and we're dealing with that at all levels for the recruiting side of it, from high school and obviously going into the college side of things. But the 26s, 27s, 28s, it'll sort itself out by probably 29. But the 27s and 28s right now are in flux, and I've got a handful of 27. So it's a very important subject to me. So we're going to kind of just follow the NCAA and see what they continue to do. Hopefully, like we said, they make it sort of unanimous, I guess, sort of uniform across the board. So once we see that, we can see the uniformity. We'll at least know what we're expecting, and we'll know to expect it at all levels. But again, think about all those D1 guys holding on to the 23-year-old football player. Now let's switch to a football example. Now I've got a guy that plays right guard. He's a backup right guard. He's again never been in trouble, always on time, does the little things that he's supposed to do, brings my GPA up on my program. So now he's got grown man strength. He's got a grown man body. And he's been mature enough and responsible enough throughout my 4 years in this program. Why wouldn't I want to take a shot on that guy in a 5th year? Because I know what I'm getting from that player. Again, the unknowns for the 17s, it just throws a wrench in the works there. And I don't really like what we're dealing with, but it is the new landscape that is college recruiting. So we're going to continue to have to sort of deal with this along the way. There's no red shirts really given. The only examples and exceptions for red shirts would be potentially military service, which is fine. Religious service, if you're going on a mission and things like that. And then honestly, pregnancy is the third one, but hopefully that doesn't occur in men's football. But anyway, so there's a lot of landscape to circumnavigate right there, and we're going to do our best to get through that. And then I don't know, we'll see how it goes from there, folks. But it does not look like it's going to be easy for the 27s and 28s. And like we said, hopefully it does sort itself out by the 28s, 29s at some point. So we'll figure it out. The NCAA will figure it out. Maybe they still are working on their game. But now let's get into a fair or foul segment. The fair or foul segment today. Now, obviously not just pertaining to baseball. Let's talk about fair or foul in the NFL. And as we talk about fair or foul in the NFL, obviously we're here to make a little fun of everything. We do take our sports seriously. We don't take ourselves as serious, but we want to talk about the NFL today, and could be the National Felons League. I'm not sure, but let's talk about if we're going to throw a flag on this play or not. But news and notes, Jed York, owner of the San Francisco 49ers, looking for love in all the wrong places. He's the owner of the San Francisco 49ers. There was a trade this week between Keyshawn Butte and I think he played for New England and got traded. But before the trade, the ownership and the GM and the 49ers had asked Jed York to go ahead and scout Keyshawn Butte. But I'm positive that he must have misunderstood the assignment as he was arrested on charges of solicitation of prostitution. Oops, wrong Butte, Jed York, wrong Butte. But, like, what are we doing here? You're the owner of an NFL franchise, and you're going up in, gosh, I can't remember what it was, Wheaton Hill Mobile Home Community Park or something for $140. A billionaire owner in the NFL seeking prostitution. Come on, Jed York, you got to do better. But while we're on the subject of parlor power, let's get on to some more football stuff and talk about Deshaun Watson, the starter. Wait, who cares? Deshaun Watson's been named the starter for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think anybody really cares except for the dog pound. So we'll slide over that. And I thought Shedeur Sanders might get the start there, but they're paying Salon so much that he's got to go ahead and get the start until he gets injured. And then they'll probably go ahead and put him on deactivate him and void his contract and move on and stick with Shedeur Sanders or draft someone next year. But, talking about some different fantasy stuff, some different player news, just make sure when you're going into your drafts this weekend, I know a lot of drafts are coming up. I've had one. I've done 6 others online, but had one live. I've got another one Sunday, and I've got another one that starts on the slow draft on Sunday. So, and I'm going to help my sister-in-law, Stacey Wyatt on, when did she say hers was? Friday. So looking forward to doing some more drafting, but just remember some of these guys, you make sure if you're paying attention to ADP, if it hasn't been adjusted, you need to know who's injured, who's out for the year, who may be coming back. And that's going to adjust their ADP, which stands for average draft position. It's going to go up or it's going to go down, but make sure you're paying attention. As you know, Ricky Pearsall is out for the year for San Francisco 49ers. Jalen Higgins, wide receiver for Houston, which was my breakout. You know what? This is funny, actually. Pearsall was Grainer's coach's breakout player, and Jalen Higgins was my breakout player, and both of them are now hurt and out for the year. So take that advice and stick it, right? Anyway, so those 2 guys are out for the year, won't be coming back. First-round wide receiver Jordan Tyson, who I was really high on, drafted him in the draft down in Mobile or down at the beach a couple weeks ago. Jordan Tyson from the Saints, rookie wide receiver from Arizona State. He's out 2 months now with a hamstring. And he's been often injured, and he's been soft tissue injuries with hamstrings and whatnot. But now it's a different hamstring issue. But nonetheless, he's out. So keep an eye on that, and that should slide down his ADP. So maybe you can draft him and stash him. If your league has injury reserve and injury list that you can put him on, you can kind of stash him and hold him for a couple months, and maybe he can help you for the playoff stretch down the stretch. So Matt LaPorta, another tight end of mine, he's hurt with a hip injury. He's questionable right now for week 1, but they do expect him to come back. Remember, he missed the last 4, 5, 6, 8 games last year with a back injury. I think he missed about 6 games last year with a back injury for Detroit Lions, and he's a big part of their offense. So pay attention to that too. LaPorta's probably going to slide down a little bit on his ADP. Like another piece of Saints news, Alvin Kamara is down for, I think, 2 months too. So their running back room is very thin. They've lost Kendre Miller as well, I think, to injury for the year. So pay attention to that and know that may devalue Tyler Shuck's value a little bit on the quarterback side of it, losing a number 2 receiver and also losing Kamara, who's a pass-catching running back. So keep that in mind as you're drafting those Saints and know what you're up against. And then lastly, while we're in Atlanta, I want to talk about they're in a mess right now. The Falcons defense, they've lost Jalen Walker, first-round draft choice from last year. They've lost him now to an injury. He's out for the season, so that's going to affect their defense. James Pierce, who they traded back up into the first round last year at the end, I believe, in the very last pick of the first round in the draft, and they took James Pierce out of Tennessee. He had a ton of sacks, was projected to have a bunch more, maybe 15, 16 sacks this year potentially. He's a stud. He's out now for 8 games for suspension for domestic violence. So, again, we're not piling on the NFL, but sometimes this happens. We like to pile on the WNBA, but sometimes the NFL writes its own stories as well. And my buddy Mike Johnson was commenting all online, but saying don't write off Tua, don't write off Penix, don't write off Tua in this situation in Atlanta. But the quarterback situation is in flux in Atlanta. It's going to be a tough year for those guys, which is probably honestly going to bring down the Bijan Robinson value and fantasy drafting. So keep that in mind. If he doesn't have a good quarterback throwing to him, it's going to be a little bit tougher for him to gain yards, and defenses can sort of focus on him and keep him in check right there. So Bijan may have a little bit tougher thing, which is something I want to turn into really quickly, is we talked about Bijan or Gibbs being drafted number 1 a while back. Yeah, but there's a red flag, a yellow flag on Jed York right there that we're going to throw on him. And we're also going to say that James Pierce, hey, man, I'm sorry, but you can't be beating ladies, all right? You can't be hurting people in your family. Guys, you're in the NFL. You're grown men. Act like it. Quit hurting women. Quit hurting people in your family. Let's do the right thing, NFL. It's not the National Felons League. It's the National Football League. So let's keep that in check, all right? All righty. Something else that I want to talk about. I know we just mentioned Tua. We just mentioned Penix. Tua has had a lot of problems with concussions. This is a crazy stat that I'd like to share. But do you know that since 2015, I believe? Since 2015, I read a stat this morning that since 2015, the CTE, which is, I don't even want to say what I think it stands for, but the CTE segment on NFL players from 2016 to 2021 was 25%. 25% concussed rates ended up dying. Those guys that died from 2016 to 2021, all 25% of them had symptoms of CTE, which is a brain trauma from multiple bruises, multiple hard hits, and things like that. So, I love the game of football. That's probably where my passion lies the most, is in football. But I would say, man, be safe. In the old days, we didn't tackle with our heads down. There was far less concussions. There was far less injuries. We did hammer cut folks, but we tackled with our shoulders. They've changed some different tackling techniques this year. But, man, keep your head up when tackling, and prayers for those guys in the NFL who take all those hard hits year after year. And think about it. They've been playing ball since they were 6, 7, 8, 9 years old and taking hits, not obviously as severe as the NFL, but you play high school, big-time football, college, big-time football, SEC football, and then you go to the pros. Yeah, you've had your licks, and I would guess that almost everybody that plays pro football has had a concussion at one time or another. So prayers for those guys on the CTE, but keep them to the front of your mind as you go. And so next, let's get into the WNBA. And, what is the WNBA right now, right? I mean, they're taking away freedom. We know this. But the WNBA, the hoops, where the girls are girls and the boys are too. No, I'm just kidding. But it is. There's like the Jelly of the Month Club. Say it with me. It's the gift. You got it. That keeps on giving. So Enes Kanter Freedom goes to a Minnesota game last week against the Fever. And Natasha Cloud goes after him in the stands for wearing a shirt that talks about what a woman is and what it isn't. I mean, what the hell is the WNBA doing? I don't like to have to talk about the WNBA over and over and over, but the stories just keep writing themselves, man. They just keep writing themselves every single time. So on the WNBA, man, like, we're going to talk about this until it stops talking about itself, but it is a PR disaster. And they just keep on rewriting the rules of unprofessional public relations, and we just keep on dealing with it. So now I want to, it's the train. Here comes the train. Oh, it's the WNBA. Oh, head on, right, with its own people. But we've used this graphic before. But I swear, the WNBA, every single week there's a new PR disaster, and we just keep watching it and reading it and seeing it and loving it. So, in the news cycle, you want some of these kinds of stories. So you want to be able to talk about these things, but unfortunately, it's not always in the positive. So, the positives. Asia Wilson's probably going to win her 5th WNBA MVP. She won it 2022, and then she won it 24, 25, and she's the odds-on favorite to win it again in 2026. So we'll see what happens there. Caitlin Clark's like number 3 behind one of her Indiana Fever teammates. So we'll see what happens there with the WNBA. But yeah, that train just keeps on rolling down the track right towards itself. So we'll figure some of that stuff out as we go, and we'll just keep pulling for Caitlin Clark. But here's this saga that happened. So, and again, Enes Kanter Freedom. He's changed his last name to Freedom. He's gone to the WNBA game last week, and as you've all seen it, it's on every news station. But here he goes. And then this player, Natasha Cloud, goes up against Kanter Freedom and just starts talking smack, starts cussing in front of the whole stands, in front of all these kids in the rows, just going berserk for absolutely, in my opinion, no reason. Like, what is going on with you? Why are you doing this? And so, again, like I said, in the news cycle, you want to have stuff to talk about. In the sports news cycle, you want to have things to talk about, and it's not always statistical. It's not always exactly what you would anticipate that you'd be talking about. But so we can get into the lighter side of things. We can make fun of some different things. And obviously, the WNBA is one of the biggest targets out there. So we'll continue to pile on like the rest of them. So moving back to the WNBA, as we continue to make fun of them, I want you to introduce somebody. I want to introduce you to the expansion team, Toronto Tempo, their new mascot, Des. Here's Des. Dez is a snapping turtle. I believe Dez is a snapping turtle from what region is he from? He's a Borealis blue, catch this, butch snapping turtle. They identify as she and they. Their favorite meal, wait for it. Their favorite meal for Dez, soft shell tacos. Kids, cover your ears. I'm assuming we know what that means, but dadgum, man, like, what are we doing? Where is your image going? And you just continue to let us pile on, and I guess we just will continue to pile on. But anyway, welcome, Dez, the Borealis butch snapping turtle, to the mascot world, I guess, is that how we do that. But yeah, so this is probably the first WNBA segment where we haven't had to mention Sophie Cunningham, so we won't mention Sophie Cunningham today. Oh, snap, we just did. Anyway, no Sophie Cunningham mentions today because that was last week and we had some fun with that. But Caitlin Clark? Oh, yeah, that one, the face of the league. Yeah, I read a stat too where Caitlin Clark has 30 points and 10 assists in the same game. She has 5 of them in her career in 3 years. That's one more than the history of the league has ever had. So the WNBA needs to focus on greatness and focus on the game itself and get off the PR stuff. And let's just focus on court sports, on-court basketball for the Women's NBA, the Women's National Basketball Association. That's what we want to focus on. So now let's turn our attention to a different sport. Let's get off of the poor old WNBA and let's move over to the MLB. Let's talk about the Atlanta Braves and some of the games that we're looking at here with these standings. And these standings right here, we've got the Rays. I think they're up 3.5 games. Let's see, I got to be able to see this. The Rays are up 3.5 games. The White Sox are up about 2.5, 3 games. The Rangers have now moved into first place, even though they don't want to win the division. They're now half game up in first place. And the Braves are struggling. The Braves are now like 3.5 games up on Philly. I think last time we talked, we were about 8.5, 9.5 games up on them. So that's a real problem for the Atlanta Braves, as we're kind of fading a little bit right now, and Philly is surging. And I told you, if you want good bets, get on Philly for the World Series. That is a great bet with their starting pitching. And I'll also give you the second best bet, which is my Brewers, which are currently 31 games above 500, 81-50 for the Milwaukee Brewers, my sleeper to win the World Series. We'll check out some World Series odds in just a second, too. But as we do, I want to talk about the American League one more time. In the American League West, the division that nobody wants to win. The Rangers are 66-66. Basically traded away a couple pieces at the trade deadline. Didn't really gain anything back. Maybe a starting pitcher, I think, a small pitcher of some kind. But they're a half game up over Houston. Nobody wants that to win that division. So everybody's under 500 except for the Rangers, who are currently at 500, sitting at 66-66. The Atlanta Braves, though, come on, guys. Let's chop. We got to get moving. It's time. So let's talk a little bit about the rest of things, too. Let's talk about what Chap's Hour asked this weekend, and we're going to tie it into a little bit of fantasy stuff, as we always try to during this time of year. We love fantasy football, as we always talk about. I'm in the middle of fantasy baseball right now and a couple playoff chases, and, man, injuries are killing me in the fantasy baseball. Like, James Wood is down. Miguel Garcia is hurt again. Who else went down? I mean, it's just a rash of injuries that I've been having to deal with, and it's hard to maneuver that landscape when you got injuries left and right in the show. So we're going to keep on fighting, trying to win that thing. But I think I may have won one league, and it was a free league years ago. So I'm battling. I'm in second place in a couple of these baseball leagues. So we'll see how it ends up winding down. But what does Chap my ass, you ask? It's funny. I got off topic, but I'm happy to answer that. So in the MLB and the NFL, we talked about Jordan Tyson a while ago. Last year it was Jaden Daniels. They get these guys and they're hurt. Jaden Daniels missed like 6 or 8 games last year, came back for a minute, but really wasn't ever healthy. I'm thinking about some of these other guys in football. Jordan Tyson for the Saints. He's going to be out 60 days, 2 months, or 80, whatever that is. 60 days for 2 months, he's out. Jordan Tyson for the Saints. First round draft pick. My team, unfortunately. He's out for 2 months. We already know that. He's listed as doubtful still in the NFL. He's out. We know he's out 2 months, and he's listed as doubtful. Why? Put him on the injury list, and let's move on down the road. Let's expand our roster and give me a chance to go pick up another free agent. So MLB sitting on these injuries and not moving guys to the IL. NFL not moving guys to the IR when it's timely and you know it's going to go down. What is going on? That chaps my ass. Let's get it fixed. I want to give some shout outs. I got some really cool shout outs to give up too. First of all, I want to say a shout out to Caden Borcherding from Etowah High School. You've heard us mention him before. We expect to have him on the show at some point. But Caden Borcherding has a NIL sponsorship with Bruce Bolt's batting gloves, which is awesome. But Caden was kind enough and generous enough that he brought the entire Etowah Girls High School team, softball team, and coaching staff brand new Bruce Bolt batting gloves. If you know how expensive Bruce Bolt batting gloves are, you would understand. But Bruce Bolt batting gloves are probably $60, $80 a pair. So thank you, Caden Borcherding. What a kind gesture, and we appreciate that. And thanks for the support for the program and the cool batting gloves. And can't wait to have you on the show, buddy. But great work, man. Also, going to give a shout out to one of my old teammates, man, Andy Boyd. What up? I'm going to tell a funny story about your 2-point conversion at some point on this show. But Andy Boyd, man, appreciate you listening, appreciate you commenting, and hopefully you don't get sniped in that 12-13 turn right there for you on your way back. So I know we both talked about that, but that does suck, and it does chap both of our asses as we spoke. Chris Walmer, my man, appreciate you. I walk up to the game. You tell me, hey, just listen to 2 hours of your podcast. I've been listening to you for 2 hours. I look over, his ears were bleeding, but I mean, what are you going to do? But I appreciate all the listeners, man. We love this audience that we've got. We want to continue to grow it. So if you would, again, please smash that subscribe button. Like us. Love us on Spotify. Love us on YouTube. And that's where we need you to be subscribing on YouTube and Spotify. And you can also follow us on our socials at Chapped A Podcast. CHAPPED, the letter A, and podcast. And we'll appreciate it. Share it with your friends. Grab their phones. Lock it in. Do what you got to do. Did I mention Kinley Rasmus, the daughter of Colby Rasmus, former MLBer? She plays for Team Alabama. Yes, she plays for the boys Team Alabama. That's okay. She's dominating. She plays for Team Alabama out of Phoenix City, and they're in the Little League World Series. Yesterday, they were in the elimination game. They had a walk-off. They won in the bottom of the 7th inning on a bases-loaded base hit. But Kinley Rasmus, daughter of Colby Rasmus, former Chapped Ass Podcast fantasy baseball guy on my team. Love you, Colby. She struck out 6 batters in that game. She didn't get to finish the game or get the win, but her team did. And so just a shout out for girl power right there for Kinley Rasmus. So great job, kiddo. And one last shout out, because I know she's going to listen to the very end. But to my lovely wife, Meredith, I appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you helping me grab people's phones and get more followers. And you are a rock star and amazing. And thank you for being on this journey with me through the Chapped Ass Podcast of Face for Radio. I'd also like to thank Andy Hollis from OBA, Orange Beach, Alabama Living. He keeps me looking good. He does my makeup. He does my hair. He keeps me fresh online, and he does a bunch of the stuff behind the scenes that you don't realize. But he's helping us grow our audience day by day. And Andy, I can't say thank you enough, although I try to as many times as I can. But again, for the Chapped Ass Podcast, I'm your host, Chap Green. And until next week, we out.
Yeah!